This is your girl, Empress Goddess, the Georgia Future host with the most. I hope you're well this evening. We're going to get in here with the meaning of the planets and the houses in your astrological birth chart. This is by, I just ran across her this evening, Molly McCord. I dropped her link in the chat, so y'all go over and subscribe to her, okay?
Where the energies are right now. So the empty houses mean that you still have energy there, but it's not as much of a focal point, or it doesn't call for as much of your attention in this lifetime. But empty houses are still active for you, because I know, for example, if you have an empty seventh house, people will say, oh, does this mean I won't have any relationships? And no, absolutely not. It's not that simple. Astrology has many layers. It has many parts of it that compose all the areas of our life. So an empty house only means that your energy is focused elsewhere. And for example, some of you could have like a very busy fourth house where you have, say, 5 planets in the fourth house. So that shows you how that fourth house is very important to you in your soul growth in this lifetime. And for those who are new to listening to this podcast, I do use Western tropical astrology. I do not interpret Vedic sidereal astrology. It's a different system. And in fact, I know very little about that. So I go into the Western tropical interpretations, and that is the type of natal birth chart that I'm referencing in this show. And because this is introductory information, I'm going to go into some of the basics and some of the essentials, but there are a number of really good books that can help you understand more about specific houses. There are books covering all of the 12 astrology houses. There are books that talk about planets in houses. And then there are also books that refer to a deep dive into a specific house, such as the energy of the 12th house, which can be hard to understand at times. So go deeper into anything that's prominent in your chart. So if you have a very strong 12th house, then you would really want to understand more about that through a book such as Your Secret Self by Tracy Marks, or Neptune, the 12th house, and Pisces by Maurice Fernandez. And there's more out there. So know that you can go deeper into houses, and that it's a wonderful way to understand this area of your life. So let's begin at the rising sign ascendant, which is the beginning point of your first house. And that is on the left side of the chart. And your ascendant is how you present yourself, how people perceive you before they know you, your first impression. And this is the beginning point of the first house, which also pertains to your body, your physical self. So it's how you chose to take a body in this lifetime. The rising sign in the first house are about your personal appearance, your sense of self, your energy, how your energy comes across, and your aura. So that first house and the rising sign are energies of your aura to work with, to understand. It is essentially an introduction to your energy container. The first house is how you identify as an individual. It's how you begin the understanding of self and what it means to be you. Now, it's very typical that your rising sign or your ascendant begins at one astrological sign, such as Leo, and then throughout your first house, you have the rest of Leo and then the beginning of Virgo. So your first house can contain 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 different astrological signs. And what that shows you is that this area of your life is how you're meant to grow, because the astrology signs are all about development. They move forward. They take you into more information and more development as these signs move forward. So you have the creative nature of Leo, the self-expression. This is who I am. Look at me. This is what I'm here to do. I'm very proud. I'm confident. I'm here to really be aware of myself as an individual. And then the energy moves into Virgo, which is about refinement and the practical application of that creativity. So it's important to see that it's an ongoing energy journey, that as the energy may begin in Leo, it moves into Virgo, and you would still consider that Virgo energy in your first house. And again, you could even have in your first house or any house 3 astrological energies, where the energy maybe begins in the late degrees of Leo. It includes all of Virgo, and then maybe it includes a few early degrees of Libra, in which case that's a very big first house. And it shows that there's a lot here in your energy field, in your energy container, in the first house that you're meant to pay attention to and work with in this lifetime. And this is where astrology becomes very personal, where you really understand more of who you are, more of what your life journey is about, and more of the energies that you're here to experience and work with. So again, that first house is the establishment of your self-identity physically, how you're here to express yourself, how you're here to be in physical form, what that means for you, your aura, your energy container, and how you identify as an individual, how you are your own person is the first house. Then once the first house has been established, we move into the second house, which is associated with what matters to you, what you value, what you find meaningful. And the second house pertains to your own personal world, your own personal resources, the ability to be self-reliant, to really accept who you are. And the second house reveals the energies you came in to work with about really loving and accepting yourself in this lifetime, the self-worth, self-value, and your connection to all these areas of life that really make you feel strong and secure in who you are. So that second house is where we establish our first connections to our immediate environment based on what we want. What matters to you? What do you need to live a good life or to live the life that is true for you? This does pertain to finances, possessions, property, what you own, what you accumulate, what you surround yourself with. And the second house is essentially looking at how you support your own aura, how you support your own frequency, how you feel stable and strong in who you are, and how that energy then moves into all of the areas of your life that then energetically reflect that love back to you. So the second house is an establishment of self after the first house. Now we look at the third house, and the third house is commonly about communication, mental processes, how you think, how you learn, your daily habits in terms of what you do to move about your day. You know, you get up in the morning, you have your coffee, you go to work, you go to lunch, etc. It's basically how we spend our energy in a daily habit. It includes your siblings, short distance travel, those who are in your immediate environment who share your values. So you see too how the houses all grow from each other. They are also a continuation of energy. So what the second house established for you, the third house is how you communicate and share information. It's how you take in other ideas, other details, other data. It's how you converse with others, but it's also how you talk to yourself. And it's the way you perceive your life, your journey, your ability to really get into how you can understand and organize everything happening around you. The third house brings us to an understanding of where your energy wants to go because it's stimulating. And it's how we learn. It's how we take in information. And whether we do that in a way that is, say, very grounded and clear, or it's inspired, or it's intuitive, there's so many ways this third house energy can operate. But it's essentially connected to your mind, the brain, and I'm also seeing it connected to the deeper workings of the brain, such as the inactive neural pathways that can be opened in this lifetime. And I'm seeing it connected to the pineal gland, the vagus nerve, the cerebral cortex. It really goes into some of these other layers of energies in how the mind operates for you in this lifetime, and what you can open up to what you can experience as you take in more things that could be, let's say, standard or typical. But this is life's ongoing learning process, and what you're learning about yourself, and then how you're communicating it or how you're sharing it. Of course, this would activate more of that throat chakra energy, but it's looking at how your mind is here to operate in this reality and what is able to, I'm just seeing it flourish. Like there's potentials in this third house to go into more gifts of the brain, more of your mental capacity that are outside of what you were taught when you were younger. So now we'll go to the fourth house. And the fourth house is at the root of the chart. It's the foundational energy in a chart, and it is where you come from. And the fourth house is about your comfort zone, your home, where you go to have privacy, what you feel that others don't see or they don't know. It's about where you need sacred space and nurturing, and where you want to be alone, because it's a very private part of this whole energy dynamic. And so the fourth house is also about your family, genealogy, where you come from, and it can show more about your past life energies that you're here to heal, specifically with family, anyone close to you, anyone in your heart, as well as looking at the internal workings of your heart. And it's like I'm getting that image of this is where you can have some bumps and bruises on your heart that in this lifetime you're really looking to heal and move through. You're looking to get to the heart of the issue, and it can pull you into some deeper, intense, private soul work about how you feel at home on this planet, and whether or not you feel at home here, or you're struggling. It's bringing up a lot of feelings. There's a lot of unresolved emotions and unresolved energies that can be housed in that fourth house. And it's asking you to be very gentle with yourself as you move through layers of energies that perhaps pertain to many lifetimes, overall soul themes, healing energies, anything that's just been even suppressed or repressed. This is where you go to get to the root of a personal soul lesson or soul experience. And the fourth house is also a gift because it can help support you in feeling more at home on this planet. What do you need to feel safe? What do you need to take care of your world? And how you can then create that for yourself. All of that is in your fourth house and how you are grounded here on the planet. Then we move to the fifth house. And this is a very dynamic house where it's showing you what is in your solar plexus energy field, even in your heart, that you're here to express so that you have the experience of knowing yourself in this way. And that fifth house is also about your self-identity, your creativity, how you make life fun, how you have fun, the ability to play, connected to your inner child. I would even say that whatever comes up in the fourth house, whatever is emotional in the fourth house or deep or also related to that inner child, the fifth house can help you move the energy forward and know how to lighten it, express it, to get it out of your emotional body and to make it something fun. So the fifth house is about where you do something so that you experience yourself in a new place of power. And it is about activating a deeper power that is uniquely you. And I do see this related to the solar plexus. And the fifth house is meant to make you feel alive. It's meant to bring you into a place of joy and what you need to feel those sensations, what you need to live a joyful life. The fifth house is also connected to risk-taking, taking a gamble, playing a game. It's about pleasure. It's about sex and dating and giving love. It's where we want to activate more of why it's good to be here. So what makes you happy on this planet? That's your fifth house, giving you insights into how to come alive, how to feel good in yourself, and how to feel powerful as well. So this is a beautiful, again, it's a beautiful ongoing energy journey, because what the fourth house brought up around stability and needing to feel at home, the fifth house has the ability to then show you more of what you can do to create the life you want. So now we move on to the sixth house. And the sixth house is a place of getting to what is essential. The sixth house is going to help you cull through parts of your daily life and help you make some choices about what you want to put energy towards, what you're responsible for, what is excessive, and what you don't have time for. The sixth house is where we take care of ourselves. It is your house of personal service, personal healing, your daily routines. I even think of it as the area of your life that's about your daily devotions. So you've understood more about who you are, what you need, how you are here on the planet, how you feel at home, how you're here to play. But now it's looking at how you can really feel strong in everything you're doing to take care of your physical container. So this does relate to your daily habits around exercise, nutrition, movement, food, vitamins, herbs, minerals, essential oils, how you take care of your physical self, how you take care of your energy container. And there's also an element of duty with the sixth house, where you're very aware of what you can do on a daily basis, how you can be of service, and how you spend your energy. So this is why the sixth house is commonly associated with work, the work we do on a daily basis, your work habits, how you show up every day is the sixth house. How you take care of your body every day, whether that's through basic hygiene and when you shower and how you exercise, to the energy that you run through your body, the energy meridians that move through you, and how you're supporting those, how you're aware of those. And I feel like this is where you can even make some easy, gentle shifts to support your daily energy more when you understand what that sixth house needs, where that sixth house needs energy to move and where it needs to feel like nothing is stuck. So I interpret the sixth house as well to be your energy meridians and how you run energy through your body. And I love acupuncture. I go at least once a week because that helps my physical body. I feel it. It shifts things. It releases things. That's how my sixth house shows up. That's how my energy meridians feel supported. So if you can look at the sixth house as what your body needs every day, it's going to put you in tune with what exactly your energy needs to feel supported, and it can shift your daily energy, because I'm seeing how there's various modalities that study energy meridians. There's various things you can do to get energy flowing and moving through you, and it's also where there's no flow that the health issues can show up, because the sixth house is connected to our body's health. And it's like if you go into that sixth house and you understand more about the energy of your body, that's where there's going to be a lot of shifts that come in. And I feel like this is where we're teaching ourselves what we need on a daily basis. And so, for example, some people need meditation on a daily basis, where others need to go run 5 miles every morning. There's different ways to run energy through you. And that's what your sixth house is showing you. So we just did 1 through 6. And it's important to note that these are the 6 areas of your chart that are about you, that are about your inner world, who you are, your self-development. It's where your world is very alive and dynamic, and it's where your focus is, especially if you have a lot of planets in these first 6 houses. It's an internal energy. Okay, so houses 1 through 6 are your internalized energies. Now we pass a threshold into the 7th house where your energy now goes out to share with other people. And this is where the natal chart changes the energy, because now the 7th house is about what you share with others. So the energy here brings up how you interact, cooperate, and exchange energy with others. And the astrological signs and planets that you have in the 7th house are how you interact energetically with other people and how they are experiencing you. It's the energy that you can unconsciously give away. It's where you can project or mirror out into relationships. It can reveal your untapped needs, your unconscious self. This is where the relationships and partnerships in your life are going to reflect back to you what you need, what you want that maybe you weren't aware of. But when you then become aware of it and you interact with people, this is where you start to establish some exchanges with people that can be very healthy, very supportive, and really feel strong. The seventh house can be where some of our soul contracts show up with other people, where we showed up to support one another, to work together, to cooperate, and where that energy exchange occurs. The seventh house is where you've taken all of the energy out into something beyond your personal energy container. And so this is where you can do some deeper work into your own relationships, for example, relationships you've had in your world, specifically through, let's say, work, through colleagues, through anyone who has been equal to you. Because the seventh house is about relationships that are equal. And what that has shown you, or conversely, where it has not been equal, where their energy has not been given and received in the same manner. And this is where you can see what has been out of balance within yourself energetically and reveals your own relationship programming, your relationship patterns. This can be where someone shows up in your life and they're reflecting back to you perhaps something that's unresolved or unhealed from another lifetime. This is where you can also experience those 4 attachment styles in relationships. Perhaps you've heard about these. They are anxiety attachment, dismissive attachment, fearful attachment, and secure attachment. And this is based on the attachment theory, which was the work of John Bowlby and then Mary Ainsworth. And their work actually was about children and infants and how they established attachment to parental figures. But this pertains to the seventh house because it shows what was actually established for you back in childhood. So let's say the third house and the fourth house were your first experiences of safety and attachment in a family. And then the seventh house is what you unconsciously bring to relationships that you didn't know you were running these programs, these expectations, these attachments with other people or with relationships. So the astrology chart is a full story, and you can always relate it to other houses, other planets, other areas of the chart. But it helps to know that the seventh house is where things show up for you that you didn't see in the first through sixth houses. So the seventh house is relationships, and that's typically how it's described. But those relationships, those expectations of relationships were formed in you in your childhood and in previous lifetimes. And so that seventh house can be a very rich playground for understanding what's happening deeper in you and how you're experiencing relationships now. That seventh house is how you share your energy. And then we go into the eighth house, and that eighth house is how you go deeper. So any planets in the eighth house want to understand. This is the house of intimacy. This is going into your emotional depths. This is the house of looking at deep transformation that you're here to experience. So any planets in the eighth house are going to have a more intense experience, and it could be hidden or mysterious, could be very private. The eighth house also likes privacy until it feels powerful to share. So that eighth house is where we go deeper into ourselves, into our own areas of intimacy, sexuality, our psychology. This is the house where we can experience trauma that's hidden. This can be the area where you discover abuse that you weren't aware of. This is where you go into more of your energy that also relates to other lifetimes. And a lot of soul work happens in the eighth house because there is a lot of wisdom here. Yes, it's emotionally intense, and it does depend on what astrological sign and which planets are there, but there's an intensity here to help you get into some of those deeper gold nuggets, like the real intense emotional messages that you're meant to feel and purge and move through and then release. And then that's where you get a deeper understanding of who you are. So a lot of the eighth house is where the energies are here to change throughout your whole life. They're meant to keep evolving. They're meant to keep rising up. And I do see it as the Kundalini rising energy. It's where we experience the deep and dark night of the soul. It's where we go into things that we didn't realize were there. The eighth house is about getting support from other people that you trust. It is the house of sharing. It's the house of marriage, of having a healthy marriage where you can be fully yourself. You can be emotional. You can be intimate. You can be going into these places that you feel safe sharing with somebody. And it's where the healing occurs as well, because you're not alone. So that eighth house is where we go to counselors or therapists and healers. It's where we go into something in a much deeper way. And there's a lot of energy work that can be done through that eighth house. So again, the planets in the eighth house probably have been requiring a lot of attention from you throughout your life. And that's because they're the ones that are really taking you into more of your overall soul's journey. And it digs up other themes and even perhaps images or sensations or energies from other lifetimes, because it takes you down that rabbit hole. And before you know it, you could be going across timelines, experiencing other energy, like I'm seeing as like paradigms. There's just a lot that can come up with the eighth house. And it's where you can also feel supported when you have that safe place to talk, to share, and to interact with people who provide a healing environment for that energy to be expressed and experienced. With the eighth house, it's important to be able to move emotional energy, and it's important to have a way to look at your shadow work and to know that you are powerful while undergoing that deeper process. And then after that deep dive of the eighth house, we rise up into the ninth house. And the ninth house is typically where you're learning more about what it all is, what the experience has taught you, where you have grown, what you're meant to take forward, and how everything has opened you up to what you believe in yourself, what you believe about the world, what you believe about your soul's journey. This is meant to be the house of wisdom obtained, what you've learned through it all. And so here you can connect to wisdom from other lifetimes as well, and what your soul has carried in with you to connect with as you voyage through this lifetime. The ninth house is typically about adventure, long distance travel, philosophy, higher education, what you're searching for. And in this lifetime, it can show you what your soul not only brought in and what it's here to reconnect to, but how you're here to continually expanding. Because our energy is always in motion. It's meant to be transmuted. It's meant to keep moving, and how you can feel powerful in the ongoing adventure of the soul. The ninth house is about what's greater than you, but that you're connected to all of it, and how you can really implement that into your psyche, how you can travel with that, how that can be something that supports you as you continue to learn and discover more about what this particular lifetime is bringing up for you. The ninth house shows where you're meant to grow and stretch, what you're meant to look at, either in yourself or in the world. This can be where you feel energies of other lifetimes and what you believed, say, culturally, or the parts of the globe that you're attracted to, that you have to travel to, that you've always felt a resonance with. There could be certain cities, certain countries, certain towns, even certain cultures that you've always been drawn to. And the ninth house can show you that you have an energetic connection to those places because you've had lifetimes there. And you understand that energy, or you're curious about that energy. So if, for example, you've always been drawn to Mayan culture or Aboriginal studies, it could also be what you studied in school that you really enjoyed learning about, because again, you have some type of energetic resonance through perhaps another lifetime with that particular area of the planet. And I'm also getting the imagery that many star seeds, when you first came to this planet, you established certain cultures. You brought them to the globe as part of the Earth experience, and you brought in certain technologies and modalities. And I'm seeing Egypt, which is a very strong energy for many starseeds. I'm also seeing different areas of Asia, different countries, different towns, different cities that were populated by starseeds. I'm also seeing a very strong energy in the Middle East around what came through various portals in the Middle East. So know that the 9th house can open you up to the bigger understanding of your soul's experiences. Again, looking at the places you've always been drawn to, you want to travel to, or you were interested in, you could have a very strong energy connection to those parts on the globe because they've been an integral part of your soul's journey, your soul's experience. And there's something within you that is remembering those experiences and really deeply connected to those energies. The 9th house is meant to bring you a greater wisdom and understanding about your overall life journey in this lifetime, as well as your soul's experiences. And from there, you take that wisdom into the 10th house. Now, the 10th house is a place of real world application. This is where you are standing in an expertise and a sense of mastery that you came here to put out into the world. Typically, the 10th house is what we associate with career, profession, public recognition, how you are viewed from others, and also what you are here to offer the world. At a soul level, this really can highlight your own soul work, your soul mission, and what you want to contribute. The 10th house is a place of external manifestations and how you have essentially built your life, and also what you're here to develop, organize, and manage in your life. So the 10th house is a place of really stepping into full energy mastery and what you can do to be aware of these areas of yourself, as well as what you are developing in these areas of yourself that you then take out into the world. So yes, career and job title can certainly be one way that you move this energy, but because everything is energy, if you look at it from a higher viewpoint, this is where your soul is really getting a clearer understanding of your energetic participation and contribution in this lifetime. What is my mastery? How am I here to know myself so that others can know me? And it's really interesting between the 10th house and the 4th house because it is that reflection of as above, so below, with the 4th house being below, the 10th house being as above, and how these parts of your life sync up, how these parts of your experience can be reflections of each other. It can also show what you have healed, what you have developed, what you have grown. So even though I'm talking about 12 astrology houses, they're all interconnected. They're all talking to each other. They all are energetically creating you. So they're never just operating by themselves. With that understanding, the 10th house is providing you with a higher viewpoint of the terrain of your life, of what you have been through, what you have moved through, and how you have developed self-respect. So if we were to relate this solely to your own energy field, this is where you can feel very strong in who you are in the world, your talents, your gifts, how you're showing up, and how you are participating. It also is showing you more of the ways that your energy wants to contribute and wants to be a part of your soul's recognition in this lifetime. Then we move into the 11th house. The 11th house is where we connect with the world at large. It's where we interact with groups, with friends, with networks of people. It's how we give to humanity. It's how we look at where we want to, again, help the world evolve, help the globe move forward. There is an element here of understanding the bigger picture and also where energy can go. Because the 11th house is also about the future, multiple timelines, being aware of all the ways that energy can unfold. It is certainly connected to quantum energetics and where things can happen quickly and rapidly. There's a sense here that energies are meant to take us forward. And the 11th house wants that. It wants to be able to move you into a new experience. Perhaps it's known as the house of dreams and visions and hopes. And it has that element of, well, what's next? What's next for me in this lifetime? How can I take everything I've accumulated, learned, applied, and what can I do with it to create something fresh and dynamic? And a lot of energies are coming through right now that support this on the planet, of the quantum expansion, acceleration, cosmic consciousness. This is where things open up to us in a whole new way. And this is the 11th house. It is about where the energies can move, where the energies can expand, and what you can do to offer your energy in any direction it might want to go. And this can happen through soul group. This is also where groups of people that feel perhaps familiar to you on some level can show up. Now, if you feel very deeply connected to, say, a friendship or someone you've met as a mentor, their energy might be connected to your 11th house. The 11th house is also strong in the ability to detach from expectations so that you can be in your power while understanding that there are multiple ways that something can happen and transpire. So it has this ability to be about quantum manifestations, the energetics that can show up in incredible ways. And when you're very intentional with how you're participating and how you are activating energies, the 11th house can show you all new futures, all new timelines, and all new potentials. It's also about the collective energies on the planet and how you might feel activated to participate or not, or what you may want to do at an individual level, because that 11th house not only is about the group, but it's about the individual and how the individual shows up to support the group. So there can be a few ways that these energies feel comfortable for you or connect with you, but it's good to see that there's many ways that we each individually connect to the planet and to energetics. And this is helping you understand that you are more than just this experience. And then finally, we come to the 12th house. And the 12th house is the area of the chart that's about completions. It's about where you transmute energies that have collected. It can be a very karmic house. It's where unresolved energies appear so that you can release them. You can practice forgiveness. You can have compassion. It's about looking at, what do I need to do to change this energy so I don't take it with me into the next lifetime? So the 12th house is where you can be doing very personal, private, spiritual work that helps you change something, like a theme, a lesson, a healing, a relationship, etc., from other lifetimes. And in this lifetime, you are working to raise the energy of it. And then you're going to be able to change the potential of it in your next lifetime. Whether that is, there is nothing it takes further with you, like that relationship is complete, you don't have to meet that person again, that lesson is over, you've graduated, you don't have to experience it again. It's about what you are releasing. And it can also be unraveling. The 12th house can help you unravel anything that's been too tight or constricting. It can help you unravel your ego, unravel your expectations, unravel anything that actually limited you that you weren't aware of. Because the 12th house is about returning to the void of potential and possibility, the void of new creation, and releasing you from something that you're energetically complete with in this lifetime. And because of that, it can bring up a review process. It can bring up many healing themes. It can bring up secrets. It can bring up things you didn't see that have been hiding in your subconscious. And this is where you're also being granted access to new spiritual gifts. And I say new, but it can be, those gifts are developed through the process of undoing and unraveling, or they can return to you as if you have really embraced them and carried them through many lifetimes, and then they return to you through this 12th house, and they remind you of the eternal essence of your soul. And that's how you also
Hey,
detach
boo. I
from
was trying to
your
end it
ego.
because
You
they have a
step
couple of minutes
away
left.
from your own expectations. You step away from what you wanted or what you thought you had to be. There's a lot of soul stories that come up through the 12th house, a lot of your different experiences in this lifetime, and they can come up through astral travel, through dreams, through psychic development, intuitive messages, anything through the clairs, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, etc. And it's showing you other energetic expressions from other timelines. So the 12th house is very intuitive, it's very energetic, and it's helping you remember the vastness of your energy before you took a body. And then the energy continues from the 12th house into the first house. Again, it goes over that rising sign and it shows you this is who I am in this lifetime, but it's only one part of the whole cosmic puzzle of my energy. So I hope this episode has brought you some deeper.
I hope y'all enjoyed that. I tell y'all need to get to know all your different placements and everything, your signs in the chart, your houses and everything as it rules different aspects. Okay, how everybody doing? I'm kind of tired. I had been doing a little run around earlier, but I love everyone. Y'all have a wonderful